All right. So let's continue. So going back to we were in the book of St. John.
We're picking verse 41.
So you see, verse 40 of the 9th chapter says that some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also? Asking him, are they blind? Mashayach said unto them, if ye were blind, ye would have no sin. But now ye see, and now ye say, we see, therefore your sin remaineth. They're not letting them know that they're part of the ones that's claiming that they see. That's why the sins that they have committed remain, because they're the ones that's claiming they see. But they're really in darkness. Going back to John the 5th chapter, let's pick up on the 10th verse. We left off at the 9th verse. Let's pick up on the 10th verse. St. John 5 and 10. Because remember, he told this man, pick up his bed and walk. This is the man that was by the pool, impotent man. Look at verse 7. The impotent man answered him, said, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me into the pool. But while I am going, or I am coming, another step is down before me. Say somebody beat him to the punch and get in the pool before him. Mashayach said to him, rise, take up thy bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Now let's pick up on verse 10. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, it is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. That's how technical they were. They told him it's not lawful for you to carry your bed. He answered them, he that made me whole, the same said unto me, take up thy bed and walk.
So he's following what Mashayach Yahawashi.
That's right, he's following exactly what he said to do, because he had faith in him. Then asked they him, what man is that which said unto thee, take up thy bed and walk? And he that was healed was not who he was. He didn't know who he was, for Mashayach had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. He said it and disappeared amongst the multitude of people. Let you know, he didn't make himself no reputation. He said, hey, I'm a Mashayach, I'm the one that did it. No, he did it, went on his way. Afterward, the Mashayach found him in the temple. Found him in the temple. And said unto him, behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more. Said, sin no more, lest the worst thing come up unto thee. The man departed and told the Jews that it was a Mashayach which had made him whole. So he went back and told on him. Therefore did the Jews persecute the Mashayach and sought to slay him. They sought to kill him because he had done these things on the Sabbath day. That's how technical they were. And that's how technical some people are. Really technical. Now he did good on the Sabbath day. That was a good thing to do. And a lot of these miracles you're going to see, things that happen, he's done them on the Sabbath day. Because he was the Lord, or the power of the Sabbath. Look at Exodus 20 and 10. Exodus 20 and 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that are within thy gates, working, going to work, making money. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Okay? So they going back to that's the law. It said work. If you can get off working, then you get off work. That's what it's talking about. Jeremiah 17 and 21. Jeremiah 17 and 21. Thus said the Most High Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth the burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do ye any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear nor receive instruction, as it is this day. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, said the Most High, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein. Then shall there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes, sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this city shall remain forever. And they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of the Most High. But if ye will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched. So that's what they're trying to go by, the law, being technical concerning Mashayach Yahawashi, who gave us the Sabbath. He's let's look at Matthew, the 12th chapter. What he said. Matthew 12 and 1. And you notice, I'm bringing this out because these miracles that Mashayach Yahawashi is doing so far, as we have seen, has been on the Sabbath day. But he's not working for hire. He's not working for hire. He's doing miracles. He's doing good deeds. Let's see what it says. At that time, Mashayach Yahawashi went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and the disciples were hungry, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. So they went through this cornfield. They was hungry on the Sabbath day, this Sabbath day. They don't say Sabbath days. They say this one Sabbath day. They was hungry and they went through the ears. They plucked the ears of corn and to eat. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day. But he said unto them, have you not read what David did when he was hungry, and they that were with him, how he entered into the house of the Most High and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests? That's what King David did and his men. Well, have you not read in this law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless. But I say unto you that in this place, where they were standing right there, in front of a Mashayach, Yahawashi, and the disciples, he said, but I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, you would not have condemned the guiltless. You would not have condemned them for doing what they're doing. Listen at this closely. For the Son of Man is the power even of the Sabbath day. So he's the power of the Sabbath day. And when he had departed thence from amongst them, he went into their synagogue. Now let's go back to John 5. John the 5th chapter. We'll start at verse 11. John 5 and 11. Because the Jews had already said, it's not lawful for thee to carry thy bed to the man. He answered them, he that made me whole, the same said unto me, take up thy bed and walk. Then asked they him, what man is that which said unto thee, take up thy bed and walk? And he that was healed was not who it was. He didn't know it was Mashayach Yahawashi, for Mashayach Yahawashi had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, the Mashayach Yahawashi findeth him in the temple and said unto him, behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest the worst thing come upon thee unto thee. Okay? It says something worse gonna happen to you. That's why he told him don't sin no more. Now, look at Matthew 12 and 43. He told him, he said, sin no more, there's something worse gonna happen to you. Matthew 12 and 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. So that's why he says sin no more. Now these unclean spirits, that's why they asked the blind man that was born blind, was blind for 38 years, say, who did sin? This man being born blind or his parents, right? But it wasn't for either cause. It was for the purpose of the Most High, that the Mashayach Yahawashi, through the power of the Most High, could make him see again. It said, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he said, I will return into my house, the body, that's your body, from whence I came out. So the unclean spirit left out. That's why Mashayach Yahawashi said, if you don't say sin no more, it's the worst thing will happen to you. Now he done took out the unclean. Now he's made whole, right? He's healed. But this unclean spirit is waiting to go back into that body, you do something again, you know what I mean, to the point where this unclean spirit can come in you again. That's what it's talking about. Verse 44, then he said, this unclean spirit is talking, I will return into my house from whence I came out. So this unclean spirit, these demons say, I'm going to go back into the body which I came out of. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. He find that you're not dealing like you're supposed to be dealing in the truth. You ain't rolling like you're supposed to roll. You have become a new man, been born again, become a new creature. Now, you back out there in the world. You back out there doing whatever you used to do, or whatever, or even worse things. And once you start doing that, your spirit gonna say, your conscience gonna say, oh, I'm not worthy. Satan gonna keep telling you, oh, I'm not worthy to be in it because I done did all this and did all this and did all that, all these sins I done did. So that's why the unclean spirit waiting on you to come back. Like people, they wait on you to come back when you've changed. See your change. Everybody else is the same. So they wait, they laying for you to come back into, the hood or whoever you was dealing with. Family, associates, friends. They looking for you to come back to where everybody else is at. Because you done stepped out. You done stepped out. That unclean spirit is leaving you. You're not the same no more. And they know it. They can tell if you live in a righteous life. Say, then he said, I will return into my house from whence I came out. So he's going around trying to see what he can do. So I'm going to go back to the house I came out of, the body I came out of. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself. Hear this? He go get 7 other spirits, and 7 is the number of completion. A complete number of spirits more wicked than himself. And they enter in and dwell there. Now you got all these spirits. Not just that one that was taken out, but you have a multitude of spirits, however many it takes, to fulfill what's getting ready to be read next. And they enter in and dwell there, and the last state of that man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. And this generation is wicked as ever. All the things that's going on in our generation that we know of. And that's what's happening. People are full of spirits, demons, evil spirits. And they're full of them, and then it's like, when you expose them, then it's like, oh, they get an attitude. They can't handle it no more because, they want to be like, you don't see me. They like, you don't see me. But a spiritual man going to be able to see it. That's why I say, what's the word on you when the book is closed? Now you got to apply this in your life. That's when you're not, now everybody's in the scriptures, everybody's quiet, everybody's listening, everybody's paying attention. But once the book is closed, now you got to operate in the spirit so that this unclean spirit don't go get 7 other spirits to dwell in you. Because they could be already in you. Complete number of spirits could be in you. And you take up, I see people take up for those spirits. Got all these spirits in them. Take it up for them. Don't you realize it's not the person themselves you're dealing with. You're dealing with them spirits that's dwelling within them. And when you identify it, then those spirits rile up. That's why you got to deal with this word. That's what happened with Mashayach Yahawashi. When he fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he came with the law against Satan. He came with the word of the Most High, the law particularly. Right? Then he had to flee. He had to get away from it. These are the solutions of what works. It's all here. You just got to apply the same thing. That's all we have to do is apply the same thing. That's what our forefathers did. They say, remember, went to the Most High, remember when you did this, when you did that, when you did this. See, this is something you got to realize, man. This is nothing to play with, because 1 Peter 5 and 8. First Peter 5 and 8. Be sober, be focused, don't be no drunkard. Be vigilant, diligent, because your adversary, the devil, that's our enemy, the devil. Adversary means enemy. The devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. That's what he's doing, going around saying we can devour. That's why we got to be up on it, man, because if you fall short, shame on you. Because look at 2 Peter 2 and 20. That's what you got to remember. For if after they have escaped pollutions of the world through the knowledge of our power and Savior, Mashayach Yahawashi. That's when you become that new man, that new creature, be born again through the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and the faith in the Mashayach Yahawashi, by Shema Mashayach Yahawashi. They are again entangled therein. You don't escape the pollutions of the world. And I mean, come on, it's real simple here when you look at the pollutions of the world, right? When you look at first Esdras. First Esdras 8 and 69. The nation of Israel, it's on page 11 in the Apocrypha, if you haven't read Apocrypha, Cambridge University Press. It says, the nation of Israel, the princes, the priests and Levites have not put away from them the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles. See? So, when you escape the pollutions of the Gentiles, which when we read Psalms 106:35, while the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathens. So we don't escape pollutions of the world, pollutions of the Gentiles, whose power, who gods are idols, and we look at what happens to us as we are entangled back into the world that the Most High pulled us out of to learn this truth, to learn this law, statutes, commandments, to learn these rules and regulations, and you go back out there, that's what it says. This is what happened to us already. Psalms 106:35. But were mingled among the heathen and learned their works, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them, a trap unto us. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and their daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan. And the land was polluted with blood. See, polluted again. Polluted. Because we followed the way of the heathen. It's just like it is now. Where do you get how you think? That's why I say most people have been Edomanized. Because they're the superpower of the earth, the Edomites. They're the ones set up the curriculum that everybody learned. So you learn their curriculum, so therefore you learn the pollutions of the Gentiles.